Hello, and welcome to this little accompanying video for my blog post. The blog post is entitled Day 1, The Valley of the Shadow of Depth. This is for my game that I'm creating called Nocturnous. And without further ado, let's get started on what I'm talking about with my 2D to 3D sort of thing. So here we have Blender, and what I did was I took my original 1D images, which I have on the right here, which is the texture that I'm using. I just added them all together and sort of made what would be the smallest sort of design with all of them, with all of the blocks together. But here you can see that the toughest part is this really tight slope right here where it stays at the bottom, because you're trying to keep all the rocks and everything uniform to where it'll match up. As you can see here, the bottom of this object matches up with the texture underneath it, and that's what we're trying to do. So I ended up basically having to create all these blocks and then go through each one and texture them. The good thing is I really only had to do the front. So, and there you can see in the background, that's just an image in Blender that I put in there just so I could see the slope that I needed. So anyway, so here we have the tops of each, basically the walkway, the top of each path or block or terrain, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see here in the back, it doesn't really matter. None of this stuff matters because the camera is going to be angled downward and it's going to be facing the front, and it's going to be just basically like this right here. So it's not going to be, none of that is going to be seen. So the only thing I was concerned about was the front face of each of the blocks. And as you can see here, so this is the game running in Unity, and what I was talking about is so these blocks now are 3D blocks, and you can't really tell by looking on the left hand side. You can see that it just looks like it's straight ahead or 2D, but if you go over here and you switch it to the 3D mode in Unity, you can see that those are actually 3D blocks, and my sprite is tilted at a 35-degree angle. And that's because my camera is at a 35-degree angle. And so we have maybe you'll see here in a minute, but so basically they're all walking, all the sprites are at 35-degree angles, and only the terrain is normal, and we basically have the camera tilted at a 35-degree angle also. And because the camera is orthographic, it's basically flattening everything out. So while those guys, the sprites are tilted, it looks like they're not tilted, and that's simply because I adjust the angle based on the angle of the camera. And when they turn, the angle gets changed because it's just flipping the sprite. So in the code, I had to make it to where when they changed directions, that they also changed their angle, which is 35 degrees. It would be negative 35 degrees. That way they're always straight when looking at them from the camera. So as you can see here, here's looking through the camera. Kind of, this is in 3D, of course, but this is what it really looks like from the camera, which is the same as it's on the left side with the game running. But that's just to give you an idea. And this is the background, and that the background stays still, and it's on a different camera, as you can see. So, and the depth of that camera is less than the main camera, so it stays in the background. Everything else is projected on top of that, and that is it. And as I said before in my blog post, I have to change the AI stuff for the game because everything was 2D before, so now it's 3D. So basically, I have a bit of work to do to go through and change everything from 2D physics to 3D physics, and that should be it. We've got a good start now. So I'm just going through and playing the game a little bit, seeing what issues I have with the AI and what I have to adjust. So, for instance, yesterday they weren't chasing me at all. Now they are, and they'll stop and attack. So we've got that done, and got a little bit of way to go. And then once the AI is done, I'll get to setting up all the levels to be with 3D terrain. And that's it. Thank you.